Hello friends, today we'll know about the general features of the scapula and its muscular attachments. This is the scapula bone. It is the large triangular flat bone which is located posteromedial wall of the thoracic cage. It is having three borders. This is the superior border, this is the medial border, and this is the lateral border. And it is having three processes. One is coracoid process, other one is spinous process, and third one is acromion process. It is having three angles: superior angle, inferior angle, and lateral angle. This lateral angle bears a glenoid cavity which articulates with the head of the humerus to form shoulder joint. And it is having two surfaces. This is the subscapular fossa and this is the dorsal surface. This dorsal surface, it is divided by a spinous process into supraspinous fossa and infraspinous fossa. Now first we will see about the surfaces. This is the subscapular fossa which is directed downwards and medially. This is the dorsal surface which is divided by a spine into supraspinous and infraspinous fossa, which is larger than the supraspinous fossa. Now we'll see about the borders. This is the superior border, which is very short, and this border near to its coracoid process, it bears a one notch that is known as suprascapular notch. This suprascapular notch, it is turned into a foramen by means of a ligament which is attached to the margins of this suprascapular notch. This is the medial border which extends from the superior angle to the inferior angle, and this is the thickest lateral border which extends from the infraglenoid tubercle up to inferior angle. Now we'll see about the process. This is the spinous process. The posterior border of this spinous process, it is having two lips. One is upper lip and this is the lower lip. This spinous process which continues as the acromion process. This upper lip of the spinous process will continue as medial margin of the acromion process. This is the acromion process, this is the medial margin. Lower lip of the spinous process will continue as the lateral margin of the acromion process. Now we will see about the acromion process. This acromion process, it is having superior surface, inferior surface, medial margin and lateral margin. And this acromion process, it bears a facet which articulates with the clavicle to form acromioclavicular joint. Now we will see the coracoid process. This is the coracoid process which is directed laterally. Now we will see the coracoid process. The parts of the coracoid process are: the first one, this is the root, and this is the tip of the coracoid process, and it is having superior surface, inferior surface, medial margin and lateral margin. Now we will see about this lateral angle. This lateral angle, it is also known as a glenoidal angle. It bears a glenoid cavity which is pear shape and it is more wider. This glenoid cavity, at its margins, it is covered by a white fibrocartilage and it gives an attachment to the articular disc. Now we'll see the muscular attachments of the scapula. So this is the glenoid angle or lateral angle. Above the lateral angle, there is a tubercle, supraglenoid tubercle, which gives an attachment to the long head of biceps. And below the glenoid angle, we'll see infraglenoid tubercle, which gives an attachment to the long head of triceps. And now we'll see the attachments on the surface. This is the subscapular fossa. In the subscapular fossa, we'll see ill-defined 3 oblique ridges will be there. Here it will give an attachment to the subscapularis muscle, which is an example for multipinnate muscle. Coming to the dorsal surface, this is the dorsal surface, which is divided by means of a spine into upper supraspinous and lower infraspinous. This upper supraspinous fossa on its medial 2/3, it gives an attachment to the supraspinatus muscle, whereas the larger infraspinous fossa, lower and larger infraspinous fossa, on its medial 2/3, it gives an attachment to the infraspinatus muscle. If you see the upper lip and lower lip of the spinous process, this upper lip will give an insertion through the trapezius muscle. Upper lip and the medial margin of acromion process. Both of this, they'll give an insertion, they'll take an insertion of the trapezius muscle. Lower lip, which continues as the lateral margin of the acromion, will give an origin to the deltoid muscle. This is the medial border. On its costal surface, if we see from the superior angle to inferior angle, this medial border on the costal surface, it gives an attachment to the serratus anterior muscle. Serratus anterior muscle, it is inserted as 8 digitations. The first digitation, which is inserted from the superior angle to the root of the scapula, this part. The next 2 digitations, which are inserted at the medial border, which is extending from the root to the inferior angle of the scapula. It gives insertion for the 2 digitations from root to up to inferior angle. Whereas the rest of the 5 digitations, they are inserted at the inferior angle of the scapula. So this is about the serratus anterior insertion 1, 2, 5. Now we'll see the origins, which are coming from the medial border on its dorsal surface. On its superior angle, it gives an attachment to the levator scapulae and rhomboides minor. It takes an origin from the superior angle to the root of the spine. From the root of the spine to inferior angle, dorsal surface of this medial border, it gives an attachment to the rhomboides major. This complete inferior angle, it gives an attachment to the latissimus dorsi muscle. Now we'll see the attachments on the lateral border on its dorsal surface. Upper 2/3 of the lateral border, it gives an attachment to the teres minor muscle, whereas the lower 1/3, it gives an attachment to the teres major muscle. We'll see the muscular attachments of the coracoid process. This coracoid process, it is having tip. From the tip on the medial side, it gives an attachment to the coracobrachialis muscle. On the tip on its lateral side, it gives an attachment to the short head of biceps. From the superior surface of the coracoid process, there will be the insertion of pectoralis minor. And here, this is the small indentation of the suprascapular notch. Near to the suprascapular notch, we'll see an attachment of inferior belly of omohyoid. Now we'll see the attachments of ligaments. So here there is a suprascapular notch. You can observe here there is a small indentation at the root of the coracoid process. That is the suprascapular notch. It is transformed into foramen by an attachment of ligament here, that is known as transverse scapular ligament. So it is converted into a foramen. Through that foramen, suprascapular nerve will pass. Above the ligament, we'll see the passage of suprascapular vessels. This is the spinoglenoid notch. It gives an attachment to the spinoglenoid ligament. This is the acromion process and this is the coracoid process. Coracoacromial ligament will be seen between these two. And as I already told you, here this acromion process, it bears a facet which articulates with the clavicle to form acromioclavicular joint. This coracoid process, it gives an attachment to few ligaments. Those are from the root of the coracoid process to humerus, that is coracohumeral ligament. From the superior surface of the coracoid process, it gives an attachment to the clavicle through conoid and trapezoid parts of coracoclavicular ligament. Here we'll see one ligament, coracoacromial ligament between these two. Now we'll see about the winging of the scapula. In this condition, we'll see the paralysis of serratus anterior muscle, which is supplied by the long thoracic nerve. In this condition, when the patient tries to push the wall or when he tries to protract the scapula, this complete medial border along with the inferior angle, they become more prominent. So that condition is known as winging of scapula. Thank you.